Hello everyone, welcome back to All Financial Discussion channel. Firstly, I would like you to comment below. Do you hate AI or do you love AI? Why? Because to me, whether you like it or not, AI is coming for your life, your work, your phone, your car, your business, your everyday life. AI is become part of our life. So you can fight it, you can ignore it, or you can learn how to benefit from it. And if you are a believer in AI, you need to understand one thing. AI does not run on magic. It runs on chips, semiconductor chips. Every day, AI gets smarter, faster, and more powerful. It needs more computing power, and that's mean more demanding for the company building the chips, processor, memory, and infrastructure behind AI. So here is the interesting part. What if you could identify the semiconductor company that are positioned to benefit from this AI boom? But hold on, not every semiconductor stock is a winner. Some have real growth, some have strong competitive advantage, some are benefit directly from AI, and some they just riding the hype. So if you believe AI is here to stay, pay attention to this video. In this and my next video, I'm going to show it to you how to look for potential semiconductor growth stock, the number, the competitive advantage, the AI exposure, and the red flag that I want you guys to watch out for. Why not learn how to invest in the company, building the technology behind it? Follow for the next one. Why are semiconductors such a strong investment? Think about almost every major technology trend today: AI, cloud computing, smartphone, electric vehicle, and even medical device. They all have one thing in common: semiconductors. AI is one of the biggest growth driver. Training and running advanced AI model require very powerful chip, creating huge demand for semiconductor designer and also manufacturer. But the opportunity goes far beyond AI. Chips are become essential across everyday electric car, healthcare, and smart device. Government are also investing billions of dollars to build local chip manufacturing and supply chain, giving the industry an addition boost. Of course, semiconductors are cyclical, so the market are experience significant up and down. But with technology become more dependent on chip every year, semiconductors remain a compelling long-term investment theme. Let me explain the semiconductor supply chain. Firstly, we have NVIDIA and AMD. These two companies, in fact, design the chip. They don't make the chip, but they have the design of the chip. So from here, you can imagine that NVIDIA and AMD, they are in fact like the architecture. Next, like I mentioned earlier on, okay, TSMC, in fact, will be the maker of the chip. Basically, they obtain the design rule from NVIDIA or AMD, then they help to produce the chip, and then they resell the chip back to the designer. So this is actually the role of TSMC. So from here, you can imagine that TSMC, in fact, look like a factory. They got the design rule from NVIDIA, for example, and then after that, they produce the chip. They resell the chip back to NVIDIA and AMD. Next, inside TSMC, you probably can see a lot of sophisticated high-end equipment. TSMC don't make all those equipment. In fact, this equipment is made by Applied Materials and Lam Research. Of course, there are more than these two companies, but in general, I just want to highlight these two main companies. They are in fact considered as a equipment maker. So basically, in short, they make equipment that will be used by TSMC in order for them to manufacture the chip. Last but not least, we have another two company like I mentioned earlier on, of course, there are more than these two companies, but I just like to highlight these two companies. For example, Ultra Clean and Elcro Holding. Okay, so in short, okay, under this equipment, okay, we have a lot of unique, high spec components and parts. So basically, these two companies, they actually supply the specialized component and part that will be used in semiconductor manufacturing equipment. So in short, they are supplier to the equipment maker. So basically from here, you can see the semiconductor supply chain. All these company here, they produce the component and part that will be used in semiconductor manufacturing equipment. So these two company, after obtain all those sensitive, specialized component and part, they will make them into a equipment. So after that, they will sell the equipment to the factory such as TSMC. For TSMC, they will obtain the design rule from NVIDIA and AMD. After that, they will produce the chip. They will resell the chip back to the original design. So this is actually the semiconductor supply chain. I am not suggesting you to buy the stock, but if you can understand the whole supply chain of semiconductor, then you will be able to minimize your risk as much as possible. So therefore, I will take the opportunity to describe the semiconductor supply chain. Firstly, like I mentioned earlier on, NVIDIA or AMD, they in fact design the chip as you can see from here. They only design the chip and they don't manufacture the chip. So basically, because of this, they are often known as factless semiconductor companies. A quick disclaimer, I am not a licensed financial advice. This video is for entertainment and education purpose only and should not be considered financial advice. Please conduct your own independent research and consult a professional if needed. Never invest more than you are willing to lose. With this, let's continue the discussion. But before, I would like to urge you guys to help me by like this video. When more of you guys actually help me to like this video will have a better chances to reach out to a larger audience. So guys, help me press the like button now. For those who are new to this channel, and if you have learned something from this video, hope you can support me by subscribing to this channel and turn on your notification bell. Once again, thank you so much for strong support. This video, I mainly will just concentrate on the share price. However, there are still many important parameters to determine whether this share is still a good buy or not. I will leave this discussion at my next video. Let's take a look on this NVIDIA share price. Let's do the common so-called reference. We will take that at the start of 2023 until today, sometime at the 7th of August 2026. So from here, you can see that okay, NVIDIA, in fact, has more than 10 times growth. Okay, so in fact, it is close to 20 times growth. So to be fair, okay, I'm not saying that NVIDIA share price will not go up anymore, but for them to go up another 10 times, it is almost very challenging. So therefore, if you still remember, this video is to pick up the best growth stock in US semiconductor. Definitely, NVIDIA will not be considered. So let's say if you buy at 2023, then definitely this is one of the best growth stock under the semiconductor. But like I mentioned earlier on, after today, okay, it is almost very challenging to see how NVIDIA can have 10 times growth anymore. So for me, NVIDIA will not consider the best growth stock under semiconductor. Next will be AMD. Compare with the last reference, as I mentioned earlier on, you can see that for AMD, in fact, they have not reached 10 times yet. So if you ask me, okay, so basically for me, AMD, in fact, is a better buy as compared to NVIDIA because there is still potential growth. However, if you look hard over here, you can see that AMD is probably at or near the all-time high. So for you to buy in this position is quite risky. Maybe for me, after 420, it probably a good buy for AMD. But keep this in mind, okay, AMD is always second. If you still remember the CPU process, okay, so basically Intel is the first position and AMD is the second position. Same for this, NVIDIA probably will be the first position and AMD will be the second position. So for me, okay, probably I will not invest into AMD since I think that it will be at second position. However, okay, I must conclude that AMD will be a better buy as compared to NVIDIA if you still insist to pick the best growth stock under US Semiconductor. Next will be TSMC. Okay, so in fact, TSMC will be the one who manufacture the chip. So in short, TSMC is actually a foundry. So like I mentioned earlier on, NVIDIA probably will give TSMC their chip design, and TSMC will in fact turn that design into an actual silicon wafer using its manufacturing process. So this is actually the supply chain. So NVIDIA pass the design to TSMC. TSMC will make the chip, and then basically they will form the physical GPU. So these are where the millions of dollars of semiconductor manufacturing equipment come into play. For me, okay, under this category, for example, NVIDIA, AMD, and TSMC, they are actually all saturated already. Coming to TSMC share price, again with the same reference and compare with today, you can see that in fact for TSMC, it has not reached 10 times yet. In fact, it is around 5 times. However, if you take a close look over here, you can see that currently TSMC share price is at or near the all-time high. So again, if you buy this position, it is quite risky. So therefore, for me, I will give TSMC a miss if I consider to pick up the best growth stock under semiconductor. Next, under the equipment manufacturer, we have Applied Materials and also Lam Research. So this diagram here show the so-called sophisticated factory equipment. So this equipment is used to make the chip. So therefore, like I mentioned earlier on, the Applied Materials and Lam Research, they don't actually manufacture NVIDIA GPU. So they actually make sophisticated machine that TSMC will use it inside the fab. So this is actually the supply chain. Applied Materials and also the Lam Research, they actually supply the equipment to TSMC. Let's take a look on Applied Materials share price. Again, with the same reference, you can see that the difference is maybe around 5 times. Definitely not more than 10 times yet. So for me, Applied Material is still a good buy. Another reason why is because if you see lately, you can see that in fact there is a very major correction. So I believe that okay, after some time, in fact, very quick time, it will test another all-time high again. So that probably will be the time that you sell the shares. If you take a close look under this 52 weeks high, you can see that the amount is quite drastic different. So for me, I will put some position for Applied Material. However, I must emphasize this share, Applied Materials, is still considered a good buy under the growth stock in US Semiconductor. Next will be Lam Research. So this will be the share price for Lam Research. So over here, you can see that for Lam Research, it is almost 10 times already. So for me, if you consider these two, Advanced Materials and Lam Research, I probably will choose Applied Material. This is because there will be still potential so-called growth for Applied Material. Nevertheless, okay, Lam Research, definitely there will be some form of growth. And also from here, you can see that recently there is a major correction. However, okay, if you look at the same reference, it almost reached the potential 10 times. And from here, you can imagine that it is almost very challenging for Lam Research to reach another 10 times. So therefore, for me, Lam Research is probably not the best growth stock under semiconductor. Coming to my last category, of US semiconductor supply chain will be UCT, Ultra Clean, and Icro Holding. So in fact, these two companies supply specialized part to the equipment manufacturer like advanced material and lump research. So in short, the equipment they actually require very highly specialized. So therefore, these two companies make very unique component and subsystem that will be used in semiconductor manufacturing equipment. Ultra clean share price. So from here, with the same reference, you can see that the price increased roughly about 2 times. In fact, for me, for ultra clean to come out another 10 times, there will be some possibility. So for me, in fact, ultra clean will be one of the best growth stock under semiconductor. So this is actually my prediction for ultra clean holding share price. This share price, Icro Holding, in fact, is quite speculative. Again, with the same reference, you probably can see that it is around 2 times. So for me, again, for this company, it can still have potential 10-time growth if the AI demand actually increase drastically. So for me, okay, I will put some position onto this Icro Holding. However, okay, if out of these two, I probably will choose Ultra Clean as compared to Icro Holding. So basically, this is actually what I have for Icro Holding. If you have been staying so long, this is probably the bonus for you. So this is in fact my best choice under the growth stock, under US Semiconductor. So basically this company, okay, so what is this company mainly doing? So remember I told you that TSMC actually made the chip. So this company, Kohu, in fact, will test whether the chip is working according to spec or not. So basically from here, you can see that with the same reference, it probably had not reached even 2-time growth. So for me, this company will definitely have potential to grow another 10 times. So this is probably one of the best growth stock under US Semiconductor. With this, I'd like to end my discussion. Please help me to like this video and subscribe to this channel. Once again, thank you so much for strong support. I hope to see you guys soon. Bye for now. Thank you so much.